أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Can I get a quick raise of hands to make sure that everyone can hear me and can see the screen okay? Okay, perfect. Jazakumullah. You can lower your hands now. We are going to start our class in the manner that we usually do. So we're going to have our opening prayers. And if I can request discipline in charge to please select a student for the prayer.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm going to give mic to N6168.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. N6168.
Walaikum salam.
How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Good, thank you. Could you please read the prayer that's just highlighted? So this one over here.
Okay. Rabbi alimni ma huwa khairun indaka. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim.
Jazakillah. And if you can read the translation of both, please.
Okay. Oh my Lord, teach me what is best for me in your knowledge. Our Lord, accept from us, from you are all hearing, all knowing.
Jazakumullah. Thank you very much. So before we move on to the lesson of the day, just a few quick pointers just to remind ourselves of what's expected of us all in the classroom that we're in today, the virtual classroom. So just a few guidelines for G2. So before the lesson, please make sure that you've done wuzu, make sure that your head is covered, make sure you have someone that is sitting with you, so some adult that is supervising you during the whole session. And also please make sure the audio is off and keep your video off as well, because it's not required for our classes. And also I'm just going to very quickly scan through. There's maybe about 3 or 4 people that have the wrong ID or don't have the correct ID that's been issued to them. So what I'm going to do is I just want to speak to one of them. Assalamu alaikum. I've unmuted TBA. Assalamu alaikum, TBA.
Walaikum assalam.
Assalamu alaikum. Can I just ask, what's your full name?
Shazib Ahmed.
Can you spell the first name for me?
Shahaib.
Okay. And you said last name is Ahmed, yeah?
Yeah, with the A.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So what I'll do is, which Jamaat are you from?
Bradford North.
Bradford North, that's fine. So what I'll do is, I think you had an issue with your ID, so I'll see if we can get the team to get in touch with you so you know what your correct ID is, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Jazakallah. Anyone else that has their personal names, please make sure that you do come with a correct ID, otherwise we will have to remove you from the classroom. So that's done. Also, just a few pointers during the lesson. Please remember to listen attentively in the class. Listen to your classmates. Even if you don't have the mic, please try to pay attention to what's being said in the lesson. And also, please keep your hands down unless you've been requested. So it can be very distracting when we have the list in front of us to have loads of hands go up. So please keep them down unless we ask you to raise them. And also for the end of the lesson, please make sure that you wait for the final prayer to conclude the class. After that, you'll have permission to leave, but please don't leave before that. And finally, after the lesson, please remember, revise the content that we've been covering so you're up to date. And if there's anything that you're confused about or think you need revision of, please do use the recordings to go over that the content of those lessons. And also remember, if on a particular day we assign the homework, please do make sure that you do it. We will do our best to check it, but even if we don't always get the opportunity to check it, please try to do it anyway. So we are going to move on. A5130, I'm just going to turn your video off because we don't need it. So very quickly, we are now, alhamdulillah, in week 2 of this Quran course. So we are coming towards the end of this second week, and so far we've been covering lesson number 1, which is the 20 common recitational errors. So that is basically the most frequent mistakes that are made during Quranic recitation. So we've done the first 3 rules, very basically remembering to keep Fatha, Dhamma and Kasra just at 1 second each. We've also had vertical Fatha, vertical Kasra and inverse Dhamma, and I'm sure we all know by now that this is just 2-second prolongation. Then we have had our huruf al-madda, so that is alif, waw and ya, and we remember that to recognize them, we look at the stroke on the letter previous. So if it's an alif madda, the letter before will have a fatha. If it's a waw madda, the letter before will carry the stroke of dhamma. And if it's a ya madda, the letter before will carry the stroke of kasra. So remembering again for a huruf al-madda, that's going to be 2 seconds of prolongation. We also covered huruf al-lin, which is again just waw and ya sakin, and they are 2 seconds as well. So we have covered quite a bit of content, and I understand that this week we've been covering, first of all, we looked at the tashdid sign, so this little W that you can see over here, and we just did a bit of revision over that. And the rule number 10, which we've been looking at, is on ghunna, so regarding mim and noon mushaddad. So when mim over here carries the shadda, or the noon over here carries the shadda, and we just have to remember that when we come across these in Quranic recitation, 2 things we have to remember. First of all, to hold the sound for at least 2 seconds, and second of all, to produce a slight nasal sound. So those are the 2 things to remember in our ghunna lesson. What we are going to be moving on to today is something which we call assimilation. It's something that I'm sure many of you will have come across in your Quranic recitation, but again, we're just going to revisit it because it's part of this lesson, because it's one of those errors that people often make. We are going to revisit it, inshallah. So what I'm going to do is, co-host, if I can get just 1 student, so we can finish off this exercise.
I'm going to give mic to A5146.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, A5146.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Just 1 second. So, could you please read the first word over here?
Makana.
So over here, remember the noon. Can you see that? What's the sign that's just above the noon here? This little W. Do you know what you call it? Or can you tell me how you would pronounce it? So you read the kaf correctly. You put extra stress on the kaf, but the noon also carries this sign over here. So we have to put double the stress on that. Good, very good. And also remember, because this is noon and mim mushaddad, when they carry the shadda, they're going to have a slight nasal sound. Makkannahu. Good. And over here, which letter is going to have the emphasis?
The meme.
Meme. So read this one, please.
Summun.
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 Very good. And this one over here, so we've got the blue meme highlighted here. So again, that tells us this meme is going to have the stress on it because it's got the shadda. So how are you going to read this?
Immatan.
Excellent, very good. Okay, how about this one over here? So noon here has been highlighted for extra stress.
Fatannaka.
Remember also we've got vertical fatha on this noon, so it's going to be 2 seconds. Fatannaka.
Fatannaka.
Excellent, very good. How long do we prolong vertical fatha for?
2 seconds.
Brilliant, yeah. This one over here, please.
Lananzil anna.
Put a little bit more stress on the noon. Lananzi'anna.
لننزعن
Very good. And this one over here, please.
ترجمن
Very good. And the next one.
جنة
Excellent. And just do this last one over here.
ممن.
Okay, very good. Do you have any questions about this lesson or any of the previous lessons?
No.
Okay, Jazakallah. Thank you very much. That was well read. Okay, co-host, can I have another student, please?
The next student is N6136.
Okay, Jazakallah. So, Assalamu alaikum, N6136. N6136. Assalamu alaikum, N6136, are you there? Don't think she's there, so if you can select a different student, please.
N6166.
Okay, N6166.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, excellent. So what I want you to do is, what we're going to do is, this is Surah Al-Qamar from the Holy Quran. And what we're going to do is we're just going to practice some examples so we can apply that lesson that we did on Ghunna yesterday, okay? So what I want you to do is just read this set of words over here.
Sihrum mustamir.
Very good. If you were going to carry on, imagine the verse didn't end here. How would you read the full word?
Sihrum mustamirun.
Excellent, very good. How about this one over here?
Hum mina.
Okay. So just imagine you're going to pause over there. How do you think you would read this?
Hum min.
Very good, excellent. Okay, so read this one over here, please.
Shay'in nukur.
Okay, very good. And the next one.
Ka'annahum.
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 Very good. And over here.
Jaradum muntashir.
Very good. So over here, which is the letter that's getting that extra amount of stress on it?
The meme.
Yeah. What's the reason for that?
Because it has a gunna.
It does have a slight ghunna on it, but also the reason for that is because of the shadda. Yeah, so this sign just above the meme. Okay? What I would like you to do is, can you read this verse here up until the end, please?
Fada'a rabbahu anni maghlubun fantasir.
Very good. And in this verse, which letter did you give extra stress to, do you think?
The anni.
Very good. And again, what's the reason for that extra emphasis?
Because it has the shadda on it.
Excellent. Very good. So can you read the next verse, please?
ففتحنا أبواب السماء بماء منهمر.
So two key things that I want to highlight. First one over here, so this alif, this is an alif madda, yeah? Because the way that we recognize it is the letter before the waw, it's carrying the fatha stroke. So that's an alif madda, which we're going to read for 2 seconds. So not abwaba, but abwaba, okay? So also the second one was that you misread the stroke. So I think you put a dhamma rather than a fatha. So just read the verse again and bear in mind those 2 points that I highlighted.
ففتحنا أبواب السماء بماء منهمر.
Very good. Okay, that's great. Okay, try this verse over here up until here.
ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر.
Just make this flow a little bit better. Mim muddakir.
من مدكر.
Very good. Mim muddakir.
من مدكر.
Excellent. Very good. And just read one more verse up to here, please.
تنزع الناس كأنهم أعجاز نخل منقعر.
Okay. Again, so just on these noon, where you see the noon mushaddad, again, just try to make that slight nasal sound. Tanzi'un nasa. Just read this part, please.
تنزع الناس
كأنهم.
كأنهم.
Okay, excellent. Jazakallah. Thank you very much. That was really well read. Thank you. Co-host, if I can get another student, please.
The next student is A5143.
Okay, thank you. Assalamu alaikum. A5143. A5143, can you hear me? Let's try again. A5143.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. You're A5143, yes?
Yes, I am.
Okay, brilliant. So could you please read from this verse over here up until here?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كذبت ثمود بالنذر.
Okay. So over here, just read this word on its own. This one here.
Okay. كذبت.
So what I want over here on this dhal, what's the stroke? So we've got a shadda, so we know we've got to put emphasis on that letter. But what's the actual stroke above the dhal? Do you know what it's called?
I don't really remember. Sorry.
No. So the stroke is fatha. Yeah, the one that slants upwards, that's a fatha. If it's underneath, that's the kasra, and then we have the dhamma, which is the round one there. So over here, what I want you to remember is this is the dhal. It's going to be prolonged just 1 second. Yeah. So kaf, dhal, and ba, they've all got the same stroke of fatha, just 1 second. So we're not going to make it kadhabat because that would make it incorrect. It's going to be kadhabat. Okay. Just read that word alone for me.
كذبت.
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 Okay, excellent. So in the next word in this verse, we just have over here, can you name for me on each letter what each stroke is? So on the tha, for example, what's the first stroke?
Fatha.
Fatha, yep. Do you remember the name of this one?
Is it Dhamma?
Dhamma, yep. So this one over here, do you know what it's called?
Wait, no.
So this is a sukoon, yeah? That's a sukoon. And on the final dal, again, what's that stroke there?
Is it Dhamma?
Dhamma. So in all of these, aside from this middle one, so this tha and this dal, they're just going to be 1 second each, yeah? Tha and du. This one in the middle, can you tell me why it might be 2 seconds? So this mim and waw. Can you hear me? A5143, can you hear me?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
1 second. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better.
Yeah? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so what I was saying is, fa is 1 second, dal is 1 second. Why do you think this middle meme and wow, why are they 2 seconds, do you think?
Is it because the meme with the Dhamma is joined up with the wow?
Yep, excellent. So this wow over here, this is a wow madda, and we
Yeah.
recognize it because the letter before has got a dhamma. So just read this word on its own for me.
Samu.
It won't be, so make it a little bit softer, because this is going to be prolonged. It's not going to be like a jerking sound. It's not going to be thamuddu, but thamudu.
Okay.
So read just this word.
Samudu.
Yep. And then join these two together.
Kazabat Samudu.
Almost there. Again, the dhal was a little bit too long. كذبت ثمود.
Kazabat Samudu.
Good. Okay, in the final part of the word, so we've got this ba is joining with this noon mushaddad, and it's noon mushaddad because it carries the shadda, so we call it noon mushaddad. So what you're going to remember here is that it's going to have extra emphasis because of the shadda, and also because it's a noon mushaddad, it's going to have a slight nasal sound. So bin uzur.
Bin Nazur.
Very good. So if you join it with the previous word, thamudu bin uzur.
Samudu bin Nazur.
Very good. So join this entire verse together. Remember, this dhal is to be kept just 1 second. كذبت ثمود بالنذر.
Okay. Kazabat Samudu bin Nu. Can I start again, please?
Yep, sure.
Kazabat Samudu bin Nudu. No, bin Nuzur.
Yes, good. كذبت ثمود بالنذر. Okay, let's try this verse over here. So you can see the very first word, it contains another noon mushaddad. So again, we're remembering extra emphasis and also producing a nasal sound, yeah? So the word after that as well, it also contains a noon mushaddad. So exactly the same, extra stress and producing a nasal sound. So just read it up until here first of all, starting from the
Inna mursilun naqati fitnatan lahum.
Okay. So over here, first things first, attached to this noon, what do we call this alif? Or how many seconds do we prolong this?
1.
Not 1 second. So remember, this is alif madda because the letter before has got the fatha stroke. It's going to be 2 seconds. Inna. Very good. So the next thing that you have to look at, we're going to come to this lesson later on, but over here, can you see that this waw, this alif and this alif, they don't have anything on them. So this is what we call blank letters. Yeah, they have no stroke. So when we're reading this verse, this dhamma on the lam is joining directly with this noon mushaddad. Okay.
Okay.
So inna mursilun naqati. So this lam lunna. Okay. Mursilun naqati. So just read it up until here.
Inna mursilun naqati.
Good. Just make it a little bit stronger. Mursilun naqati.
Mursilun naqati.
Not lu, so remember these are all blank. The only thing we're considering is this dhamma, which is 1 second. Mursilun naqati.
Mursilun naqati.
Good. So carrying on over here, this is actually the rule that we're going to discuss today. So fitnatan, that's a very simple word. When we join this fathatain over here, we call this double stroke of fathatain. When we join it to this lam, which carries a shadda, you're not going to hear the sound which comes from this tanveen. So it's not going to be fitnatan lahum, but fitnatan lahum. Okay, so you're not going to hear that noon sound from the tanveen. Fitnatan lahum. Just read this part, please.
Fitnatallahu.
Fitnatan lahum.
Fitnatallahum.
Not la, so don't make this la too long. Fitnatan lahum, because this la, remember, it's just got a fatha stroke. If it was vertical fatha, then we could make it longer, but it's just fatha, so fitnatan lahum.
Fitnatallahum.
Not talla, tallahum.
Fitnatallahum.
Okay, let's try. What I think you're doing is you're making it longer whilst you're trying to put stress on it. So fitnatallahum.
Fitnatallahum.
Inna
Inna
mursilun naqati.
mursilun naqati.
Very good. Fitnatallahum.
Fitnatallahum.
Very good. Okay, that's fine. Jazakallah. Do you have any questions at all so far?
Oh no.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, Jazakallah. Thank you. Jazakallah. Keep working on it. If anyone is struggling with any particular rule, what I would definitely suggest is if you can break down the verse so that you can kind of select what stroke appears on each letter, etc., and then that way you can slowly piece the verse together. So definitely, if you have any issues or if you're struggling at all, please do try that method. It does help in the long run. So can I get another student, please, co-host?
The next student is N6174.
Okay, just bismillah. Assalamu alaikum. N6174. Oh, sorry, I think I'm just muted you. N6174. Assalamu alaikum. N6174. Can you hear me? N6174. I mean, you've got your hand up, but I don't know why the mic isn't working. We'll see if we can come back to you, N6174. Or if we can have another student, please.
N6139.
Okay, thank you. So what I'm going to do, N6139, could you please recite this verse over here, starting from كذبت.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم كذبت قوم سم بالنذر.
Okay, so just over here, this word here, قوم, don't break it up when you're reciting because it's the same word. Try not to take a breath in the middle of it. So كذبت قوم. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And also, so this word here, Lutin, this is referring to the Prophet Lot. So again, because it's a fairly small verse, just do your best to try to do it in one breath and not break anything up. Yeah. So كذبت قوم لوط بالنذر. Can you try Let me just take these away. So the reason that this one is highlighted is because of the nun mushaddad, which appears over here. So this ba with kasra is going to be joined with the nun mushaddad, and the stress is going to be on that nun. Yeah. So just read the verse once for me, please.
كذبت كمول سم بالنذر.
So this this over here, this is a ta. Yeah. So lutin. Can you just read that word? Lutin.
لوط.
Good. And when you're joining this together, so we've got ba. Do you know what the stroke is underneath the ba?
كسرة.
Yeah, very good. And what's the stroke that appears above the noon mushaddad?
ضمة.
Dhamma, very good. And the stroke on the zal?
ضمة.
Very good. So it's really important to make sure that when we're reciting not to accidentally change any of the strokes. So this word in the end, bin nuzur.
بالنذر.
Very good. كذبت قوم لوط بالنذر. Can you read it again, please?
كذبت
Yeah.
كمول سم بالنذر.
بالنذر. And also this letter, this ta, it's different to a ta in the sense that it's when you make the sound, your mouth should be rounded. It's a thick letter. So lutin.
لوط.
Yeah, lutin. Not the sa sound, but lutin, like a heavy T. And also over here, I think this was covered, but this is this wow over here. This is an example of a lean letter. So when you join these, it's going to be a soft rounded letter. Qawmu. So not qumu or anything else. Qawmu. The qaf is rounded when it joins the waw. Qawmu lutin. Can you read just these two?
قوم لوط.
Very good. Okay, good. Okay, let's carry on to the next verse. So if you read up until where this small dies.
إذ أرسلنا عليهم حاصبا إلا آل لوط.
So again, remember lutin.
آية.
Lutin, okay. Also on top of this over here, what do we call this? It's like a wavy sign just above the alif.
أمد.
Yeah, so that is mad al-saghir. So how many seconds do we prolong this for?
4 to 5 seconds.
3 to 5 is a bit better. So 3 to 5 seconds, and for the bigger one is 4 to 6. So if you just prolong it a little bit more on this one and also on the illa, because it's also got mad al-saghir. If you read that again up to here.
إنا أرسلنا عليهم حاصبا إلا آل
Lut. So Lut is carrying on, but if you're just going to pause there, we're going to read it as Lut, okay? And just read to the end of the verse, please.
نجيناهم بسحر.
Yeah, bisahar. Okay, good. Do you have any questions so far?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakillah. Thank you very much. N6139. So I hope those of you that are listening at home, I hope you've got an idea of the importance of the lesson regarding the tashdid which appears on the meme and nun mushaddad, and to always remember to put that extra stress on it and also produce that nasal sound. So I would definitely suggest that one good activity to do at home is to, wherever you're reciting in the Holy Quran, if you open up that page and if you just look for examples on that page and practice reading them, that would be really helpful for your recitation. So what I'm going to do is I will go through the next lesson, but please remember that with all of the stuff that we've covered, it requires lots of revision, lots of revisiting and revising over the rule. And the final step is, of course, applying it practically when you read your in the Holy Quran. So your Quranic recitation is basically the ultimate test to see how well you're understanding the rules. So please do keep revisiting them. What I will do is, before we move on, I will very quickly just show you where you can download the PDFs which we're using to teach these lessons. So it's something that you can download and print for yourselves. I would highly recommend printing them and then putting them into a folder where you can have them for reference, especially when you're reading the Quran. So the website that you want is the usual one, nqc.org.uk. You want to go to this button over here, courses, and then you want to scroll down to the relevant course. So this one is Tashilul-Quran course over here. So you just click that one, and then it will take you to this page. Again, click on Tashilul-Quran, and you want G1, G2 course lists. So obviously this is G2 group, but we are also using the PDFs from G1 to teach the start of this course. So I would definitely say go to both pages and download all of the lessons from both pages. So this is G1, and you can see we've covered a lot of this stuff at the start of the course. These are like the beginning rules that we've been learning about in lesson 1. So please go and download all of those. And then we have, if we go back to course list, we've got G2, which is relevant to our course, but again, this is stuff that we're covering a little bit later on. So please do make use of these resources. They are there to benefit you, and have them out when you're doing your Quranic recitation. Have them out so you can physically see in front of you what rules you should be focusing on during your recitation. So is that clear to everybody? If you want, if that's not clear, can you raise your hand? Okay, I think that's quite clear. Okay, that's fine, Jazakallah. So what I'm going to do is we are going to just go through the explanation of the next lesson. This is a 2-part lesson, so we're going to be doing the second half in tomorrow's session, inshallah. So the lesson that we're looking at here is assimilation. So this is a rule which again appears in our 20 common errors lesson, lesson number 1. And that is regarding this rule over here, rule number 11. So I'll just read out the rule and then we'll read about it in more detail. So do not pronounce gunna if nun sakin or tanveen appears before a lam with shadda or ra with shadda. So what that is basically saying is we are focusing on 2 different scenarios. We've either got a nun sakin, which is here. This is the nun which carries the sukoon, or we have an example of a tanveen, which is just on this dal. So you can see here we have this dal and it's got the tanveen of dhamma, which we call dhammatain. So when you see these double strokes, if it's 2 of fatha, like here, we call it fathatain or tanveen of fatha. If you see the 2 which come underneath, it's the tanveen of kasra or kasratain. Or if you see the 2 of dhamma, then it's the dhammatain. So try to remember that terminology. Just add tain onto fatha dhamma or kasra to remember that. So the rule is saying that if you have a nun sakin, or you have a letter which carries the tanveen, so that can be tanveen of dhamma, tanveen of kasra, or tanveen of fatha, any of those. If they are followed by 2 letters, either lam mushaddad, so you can see here, lam carrying a shadda makes it lam mushaddad, or if it's carried by a different letter, ra, with a shadda. So ra mushaddad and lam mushaddad. If they come after the nun sakin over here, or the tanveen, then we are not going to hear that nun sound or the tanveen sound. We are going to completely merge those 2 sounds together. So this nun won't be heard. So it won't be read min ladunka, but we're going to read it milladunka. So this verse is saying that you should not hear that gunna or that noon sound come through when you join them. Milladunka, it's very clean cut, no noon appears in that at all. This meme with kasra is joining with the lam mushaddad with fatha. Milladunka. In the second example, we have the different case. So we have the ra mushaddad this time, and again before it we have the noon with a sukoon, noon sakin. So again, not min rabbi, that would be incorrect. We are joining this meme with kasra with this ra mushaddad. Mir rabbi, mir rabbi. You can hear in that none of the noon comes through from the noon sakin. Min ladunka, mir rabbi. In the next example, you can see, again, we have the dal with dammatain, and this time again, we have lam mushaddad. So remember, lam or ra mushaddad, we are not going to hear that noon or the tanween come through. Shidadulla, so not shidadunla. Again, that would be incorrect because you can hear the dammatain. Shidadulla. And in the final example, again, we have noon sakin, and this time again, it's followed by a lam mushaddad. So lam with shadda. So not manla, but malla. So fatha on the meme is joining with the fatha on the lam. Malla rather than manla. So I hope that's clear. It is quite straightforward, but again, you have so many rules to remember that it can often be forgotten in recitation. So let's quickly just read the explanation a little bit more detail. So this thing that we call assimilation, the terminology for it is idgham. That's the correct word that we use for it. So idgham means to merge and assimilate. So when you're joining two things together. And what the point that I want you to really remember is that there are two types that we're going to focus on. There are two broad categories of idgham. So the first one is idgham kamil. So that means complete assimilation, and that's basically the type that we've learned about today, where you are completely merging the sound of the noon sakin into the lam mushaddad or the ra mushaddad. So you're not hearing it at all. So that is complete assimilation. It's completely merged into the lam or ra mushaddad. The second type is called partial assimilation, and that's where you slightly hear the sound of the noon sakin or tanween, but that's something that you're going to cover in tomorrow's lesson. So looking at idgham kamil, again we said lam or ra mushaddad is what it focuses on, and it appears after noon sakin or tanween. So I'm going to ask the co-host if you can select another student, please.
The next student is A5127.
Okay, thank you. Assalamu alaikum, A5127. A5127, are you there? A5127? No, if we can move on and find another student, please.
A5153.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, A5153. A5153. Just trying to find another. A5153, can you hear me? Okay, no, let's try another one.
A5167.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you today at A5167?
I'm good, alhamdulillah.
Okay, brilliant. So do you understand the explanation of this lesson so far? Do you know what it's talking about?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, perfect. So if you take the first example, how are you going to merge these two sounds together and read the whole word? Very good. So in this word over here, what is the sound that is going to be missed out when you're merging them?
Noon.
Noon, excellent. So noon sakin we're not going to hear, and we're going to merge the meme with the lam. Very good. How about in the next example? So what do you have on the ra over here? Do you know what you call this stroke?
Dhamma.
So it's almost there. Remember, this is a tanween of dhamma, so we call it dhammatain. Okay, so there's two strokes, dhammatain. And how are we going to read this word?
Khairul lakum.
خير لكم.
خير لكم.
Very good.
خير لكم.
Good. And the next one, please. So this time we've got Noon Sakin, which...
بهم.
sorry, read one more time.
من ربهم.
Excellent. And the next one, please.
رؤوف رحيم.
Excellent. Very good. And the next one.
الله.
Good. And this one over here.
مصفر اللزال.
So two things. First of all, this sad, this is got a sukoon on it. So that means that there's no stroke on it. So it's like a mute letter. So musfaran, yeah? Musfaralla dhallu.
مصفر.
Just read it one.
مصفر. مصفر لزال. زلوا.
Yeah, very good. Zallu. So again, because the lam's got a shadda on it, we're going to put extra stress on it. Musfaralla dhallu. And the next one, please.
من روح الله.
Very good. Min rawhillahi. Can you tell me over here, do you know what this waw is an example of? Do you remember what kind of letter it is?
No, I can't remember.
No. So this, when you have the waw with a sukoon or ya with a sukoon, and the letter before has got a fatha, the sound is quite a soft, rounded sound. So it's a lean letter, yeah? Min rawhillahi. So this is a waw
من
lean.
روح الله.
Yeah, good. And just read the last one for me, please.
رب الرحيم.
Okay, excellent. Very good. Is that lesson quite straightforward? Do you understand it all?
Yes.
Okay, Jazakallah. Thank you very much. Jazakallah. Can I get another student, please, co-host?
The next student is N6154.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. N6154. N6154. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam. Are you able to turn your volume up a little bit more? It's a bit quiet. Can you hear me okay? N6154? Oh, she's been... For some reason, she's been... Okay. N6154, are you there?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. You're N6154, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. Could you please continue with the second, this example over here?
Alawistakamu
Very good, excellent. And the next one, please.
Bahrin Luji.
Jiyin. Oh, okay, so you're reading as if you're pausing. That's fine. Just one more time, please.
Bahri Luji.
Okay. So if you're going to read as if you weren't stopping, how would you read this continuously?
Bahri Luji.
Almost there. Bahril Lujiyin.
Bahri Luji.
Okay, good. The next example, please.
Faman Rabbu Kuma.
Yeah, good. فَمَنْ رَبُّكُمَا.
Faman Rabbukuma.
Very good. And the next one, please.
Shiha Parasadan.
Okay, good. Okay, Jazakallah. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakumullah. Thank you very much. Can I get another student, please, co-host?
I'm going to give mic to A5160, and I think they have a question as well.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. A5160. Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. My son attends the class, so he is attending.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask a question. So we've been actually logged in since 5 to 8, but
Yeah.
it kept saying that your host will let you in.
Yeah.
And just about, I don't know, about 5-10 minutes ago, we've logged out and logged back in, and it's let us through. So we've probably missed a lot of the lesson. There is
Yeah.
no way to actually tell whether you are having technical issues or whether it's a case of, you know, for some reason we haven't been let in.
Yeah.
Just wanted to flag that up, if that could be picked up, you know, some
Yeah,
way of
sure.
notifying us.
Yeah, I mean, let me just check 1 second. Can I just check with discipline in charge? Was there a reason that they were in the waiting room for that long?
I haven't seen the student in the waiting room. Maybe there would be any kind of technical issue because I entered every student in the class.
Okay. Yeah, no, I can't really understand why that would have been, because usually when we have someone in the waiting room, we'll have a notification to show us. So we're usually quite quick to let them in, but we will keep that in mind. So apologies for that. But are they okay to read? How much of the lesson has your son been able to hear so far?
So he's just listened to this last student, but he can read.
Okay, that's fine. All right then. Okay, A5160, could you please read this example here?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قد تبين
Very good. قد تبين.
قد تبين
Very good. And the next one, please.
أحد
And the next one.
قل ربي
Very good. And this example.
نخلقكم
نخلقكم.
نخلقكم
Very good. And the next one, please.
إركم أنا
Almost there. Just make it float a little bit more. اركب معنا.
إركب إركب معنا.
Okay. And the next one.
فلما أثقلت والله.
Very good. And the last one, please.
وردنا.
Make this ra a little bit longer, because again, this is
راودنا.
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 Okay, excellent. Jazakallah. Thank you very much, A5160. So this final exercise that you saw over here, this isn't necessarily the lam or ra mushaddad that we've been discussing, but these are just some other examples where you have a letter which carries a stroke, which is the first letter. Then you have a letter which carries a shadda, and in the middle you've got a mute letter. You've got a letter which carries sukoon. So in that case as well, you are merging the sound and you're not pronouncing the letter in the middle. So not qad tabayyana, but qad tabayyana. So you can see that this letter which carries a stroke, which we call mutaharrik letter, is being joined to this mushaddad letter. قد تبين. Again, over here, this ta is the sakin letter. It carries the sukoon. It's a mute letter. It's got no stroke. So you take the first letter which carries a stroke, which is fatha, and join it with the mushaddad letter. So not ahadtu, but ahadtu. Exactly the same over here. This lam sakin is the muted letter. قل ربي rather than قل ربي. And again over here, this qaf will not be read. نخلقكم. So hopefully that is clear. Again, it is quite a straightforward thing, but it's really just about remembering to correctly read in the Holy Quran. So we have a couple of minutes more left. So what I'm going to do is, if co-host, if I can get another student just to read a few of the examples highlighted.
N6159.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam, and 6159. please can you read just from here? And bear in mind, so we've got Hamza here, which carries
Yes.
fathatain. So when we join it, are we going to hear this fathatain or no?
No.
Okay, excellent. So can you just please read from here, starting with Bismillah?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم جزاء لمن كان كفر.
Very good. And can you read from inna up until the end of this verse, please? So again, we've got dhal with a fathatain, and when we join it to this lam mushaddad, we're not going to hear the fathatain. So just from inna, please.
Inna izalla fi zolalin wa su'ur.
Good. Wasu'ur. Okay, very good. And if you read from inna up until the end of this verse, please.
Okay. Inna mursilunna kati fitnatallahum fartaki hum bastabir.
That was almost there, just over here. I think you read this ba as a ya. So fartaqibhum.
Fartaqihum.
Fartaqibhum.
Fartaqibhum.
Very good. Let's take one more example. So we have so this is from Surah Al-Waqiyah. If you just read this verse over here. So again, we've got ta marbuta, which carries the dammatain, and you're joining it to ra mushaddad. So you're not going to hear dammatain when you merge the two sounds.
Okay. Fizatur.
Remember, we've got alif madda here, so the ra is going to be prolonged 2 seconds.
Okay. Khakizatura.
Just read the end of the letter. So we've got rafi'ah.
Rafi'ah.
Okay, very good. Okay, Jazakallah. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Jazakumullah. Thank you. That was well read. Can I get one final student, please?
A5127.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. A5127. Assalamu alaikum. A5127, are you there? A5127 doesn't seem to be there. We can try someone else, please.
A5170.
Assalamu alaikum. A5170.
Waalaikumsalam, आपको क्या हाल है?
I'm good, thank you. Could you please read this verse?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإنه لقسم وتعلمون عظيم.
Okay, so this over here, just remember this is it's got a sukoon on it, yeah? So we're not going to read any stroke on it. When we read it, وَإِنَّهُ لَقَسْمٌ لَوْ. Okay, no fatha on the waw. لَقَسْمٌ لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عَظِيم. Okay, so لَقَسْمٌ لَوْ. And over here, let's say from here to here, which letter has got the shadda on it which needs emphasis?
Noon.
Noon, excellent, very good. So remember, extra emphasis but also produce a nasal sound. وَإِنَّهُ.
وَإِنَّهُ.
Okay, very good. So just reading this verse here, this lam has got a dammatain and it's joining to mim mushaddad, and this is then joining to ra mushaddad. So in both of these cases, you're not going to hear the dammatain, or the noon sakin. So can you read this whole verse for me, please?
النزي لا لم من رب العالمين.
Okay, so over here again, this noon, it's just a sukoon. So tanzilun. Okay, just tanzilun. There's no stroke on it. So read it very simply. Tanzilun.
Zilun.
Tanzilun. Okay, so when we join this lam with the dammatain, with this mim mushaddad, we're not going to hear this dammatain. Tanzilum mir rabbil alameen. So lummi. Okay, we're not going to hear this dammatain. And then straight after you've got the ra mushaddad, so you're not going to hear the noon sakin. Tanzilum mir rabbi. Mir Rabbi. Okay, so no noon sakin, no dammatain. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, that's perfect. Jazakallah. So we will, inshallah, continue the assimilation lesson tomorrow. While you're with me, 85170, can you please read the final prayer so we can conclude the class?
Oh, okay. Allahumma arhamni bil Qur'anil azim waj'al al-hulli imaman wa nuran wa hudan wa rahmat.
Okay. Rahmah, if you're pausing over there.
Rahmah.
Okay. And the translation, please?
O Allah, have mercy on me through the great Quran, and make it for me the leader, the light, and guidance, and the mercy.
Okay, Jazakallah. Jazakumullah everyone that attended, and inshallah we will continue the second half of this lesson in tomorrow's session. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.